Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth and today I'd like to share with you my bookish goals for 2017. Well, I know we're halfway through the month of January now, and I don't want you to think that I'm just now getting started on my goals, because I've actually been already reading quite a bit this month. But what's taken me a while to get this video filmed, I've been making lists and planning and just thinking really hard about what I want to read this year and what I don't want to read this year. So I thought I would share with you my reading goals, my video goals, and kind of my overall theme for this year. So most everyone starts their goals video with their Goodreads goal. And I set mine this year at 150. That was what I set last year, and I think I had that completed last year by September or October, I can't remember. And I know that I can do that this year. In fact, my actual goal is 204 books, which is what I actually read in 2016. And I'm really keeping that as my internal mental goal. But there's something psychological about setting your actual goal in print a little bit lower and being able to see yourself surpass that. And I really enjoyed that feeling. I love seeing, that it's 100+% over my goal. So I just think that's kind of fun, and I'm probably just going to leave it at 150, although between you and me, it's really 204. Now, why 204? Well, besides the fact that that's what I did last year, and I would like to meet or beat what I did last year, I did a little math, and 204 books divided by 12 comes out to be 17 books per month. So I'd like to read an average of 17 books per month in the year 2017. Now, will I read actually 17 a month? No. There's going to be some months that I read more and some months that I read less. So 17 is a good goal to average out. And since I decided that I'm not going to do either of the two big annual challenges that I did last year, which was the Around the Year in 52 Books and the Pop Sugar Ultimate Reading Challenge, although I may still do the Pop Sugar Challenge, but I'm not committing to it right now, I decided I would make up my own challenge for this year, and I'm calling it 17 in 17. Now, there's probably other challenges out in the world that have that same name, but for me, what it's going to be is an average of 17 books a month, and I have several lists of 17 that I hope to accomplish throughout the year. For instance, I have the top 17 series that I want to finish. I have the top 17 series that I've already started that I want to work on that I don't think I'll finish. And then I have a top 17 mysteries that I want to work on, and these will be separate series, not the same ones as the series to finish and the series that I'm working on. And then my top 17 standalones that I'd like to read, and then my top 17 series that I'd like to start. And several of those are trilogies, so I plan to start and finish those. Then I have 17 books that my daughter Katie wants me to read. Actually, the top 17. There's more than 17. So she is working on the top 17 that she wants me to read. In fact, I just finished one today, so I'm well on my way with that challenge. Then I also have a challenge to read collected authors that I've never read. Now, I did a video last year called the 7 collected authors I've never read. I mentioned in my Goals Revisited video that I only read 3 of those, so I'm going to carry over the other 4 to this year. Now, in addition to those 4, I have another 17 authors that I've collected 4 or more books of that I want to read at least one of this year in 2017. Then I have 17 classics that I'd like to read, and within that, now 12 of these are already picked for me because I am participating with Sarah from Novel Expectations in her Shakespeare read-along this year. She has chosen 6 comedies and 6 tragedies, and she's put them in a jar, and each month she's drawing out one. So I'm going to be reading one of those Shakespeare plays each month. Then I have 5 other classics on my list that I want to read. Then I have 17 nonfiction books that I would like to read over the course of the year. So those are all the lists of 17. And then I'm building in a little bit of wiggle room because without a doubt there will be some books that will come up and I will want to read those on the spur of the moment and they won't be on my list. So I am giving myself permission to change out what I want to read and also read things that are not on these original lists. Now, a few other projects that I'm doing that don't necessarily add up to 17. I am going to continue working on my Newbery project. I've been working on reading all of the Newbery winners since way before I ever started doing BookTube or even knew about BookTube or Goodreads or anything. So the past couple years I kind of got sidetracked off of my Newbery project, and I've been reading a lot of other things. But this year I really want to get back on track. I want to read more Newbery winners that I've not read before, and I will read a total of 17 either Newbery winners or honor books or books in the same series as Newbery winners. I think that's probably a good goal, to read 17 Newbery books. Now, I am a member of the Newbery reading group on Goodreads, and they have some little mini challenges within the greater challenge to read all Newbery winners. This year they are challenging members to read complete series that have a Newbery book within the series. So I've already read the whole Giver Quartet, and I've already read all the Shiloh series, and I forget what the other one was, but the one I am most interested in reading right now is The Dark is Rising sequence by Susan Cooper. Now, I did try reading The Grey King several years ago, and I just didn't understand it. I got through it on audio, but I came away from it thinking, what did all that mean? And it didn't dawn on me until later that it's the fourth book in a series. Well, no wonder. So this past year I read Oversea Under Stone, which is the first book in the series. And so this year I want to go ahead and complete the rest of the series, and I want to read The Grey King in its proper sequence. So the next book is called The Dark is Rising. The next one after that is Green Witch, and then The Grey King, and then the last book is Silver on the Tree. So those 5 books plus 12 more Newbery winners or Newbery honor books will be my Newbery goal for 2017. Then I also have another project that I've been meaning to start for several years. I have mentioned a little bit on my channel about Grace Livingston Hill. She was a very prolific Christian fiction author back in the early 1900s. She has 100 books or more, at least 100 that I know about. I have collected some of her books in early edition hardcovers, and I have almost the entire collection in paperback. And I don't even remember which ones I've read and which ones I haven't. So I was kind of inspired by Tanya from List Obsessed Reader, because she's reading all the Agatha Christie books in order, and I decided I would start this year and read the first 12 Grace Livingston Hill books. Now, I'm not going to read them in publication order. I'm going to read them in the numbered order according to the number on the paperback books. Now, these are not a series. There are a few of them that are companion books or that have sequels within these 100 books, but the numbered paperbacks are 1 to 100, and I'm going to read the first 12 of these. So I'll do a separate video about Grace Livingston Hill and the books I'm reading, and if you are interested in reading some very old vintage Christian fiction, then I invite you to join in with me and read some Grace Livingston Hill books. They're just wonderful, heartwarming, sweet, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into this author. And then I have a few rereads that I'd like to do. I don't have a full list of 17 unless I could somehow manage to read all of the Jan Karen books plus 4 more to read 17. At least 6 or more rereads is what I have written down so far. I mentioned my Goodreads challenge, 150, but actually 204. And within that, I also have joined in officially this time in the Big Book Challenge, and I put 30 as my goal. I did read 40 last year, and so I'm sure I can at least do 30. In fact, I started making a list of all of the series books and things that fall within my list of 17, and there's at least 25 or more already just in those lists. So I think 30 is a good realistic goal for that. And I've been able to find several of my big books that I want to read on audio through Hoopla. So I'm really looking forward to getting more of those books done through audio, because I have now more audio available to me than just what they have at the library in CD. So I guess you could say my overall theme for this year, I'm going to really focus on series, so I'm going to call it the year of the series, and my challenge will be 17 and 17. Now, I have said that I do want to focus on reading more from my shelves, and that's true, but in looking at all the series that I want to finish, I have a lot of series that I could just read 1 or 2 more books and get them finished, and most of those are from the library. So I'm going to say that finishing series is going to trump reading from my shelves as far as a priority, because that way I'll be able to get a lot of those series finished. I'll be done with those, and I can move on to reading the series that I actually own, and I'm excited about that. Now within my different lists of 17, some of those are going to be crossovers, which is good. In other words, some of Katie's recommendations are also on my top series to finish, and standalones to finish, things like that. So there are some crossovers, and that again will allow me more wiggle room, because like I said, there are going to be books that are going to pop up that I know I'm going to want to read that are not on these original lists. And then as far as video goals, I will continue to do my Saturday shelfie tours for as many Saturdays as I am able, and until I finish going through all of my bookshelves, which is a lot. And then I mentioned my Newbery project. Now, along with the reading of Newbery books, I also have some video goals regarding Newberys, and I will be doing those in the coming months. I also want to read more books and do more video reviews on books by authors I know. And so I hope to read at least 3 or more books by authors I know and do reviews on those books in 2017. And then I'm not sure about monthly recommendations. It's a wonderful Goodreads group started by Kayla Rain and Trina from Between Chapters. Last year I was able to do 6 monthly recommendation videos, and this year I was kind of thinking I might just kind of bow out of that. But this month in January is historical fiction, and I just finished an amazing historical fiction book that I want to tell you about. So I may go ahead and do a January one, and then we'll just take it month by month. I'm not going to try to challenge myself to do them all. I'm just going to do them as the mood strikes me, and if I really have something that I want to recommend to you that fits the category, then I'll do it. Then the last item on my goals list are my themed months. Now, you might ask, what is that? If you've been following my channel for a little while, you know that last year I had a couple of months during the year that I themed my reading for the whole month. The first one being March Mystery Madness. Now that is a month-long readathon, if you want to call it a readathon. Really, it's a month-long challenge to read as many mysteries as you can. It is hosted by myself and Troy Towell, and we are also going to have a third co-host this year. It's going to be Di from Dice's 19 Hearts. And so the challenge is to read mysteries for the month, and we'll have some different challenges within the month, and maybe even some video challenges this year. We want to have a bigger presence on Twitter this year. I think we're going to start a Twitter account for March Mystery Madness, and so be looking forward to that. Start planning right now to read some mysteries for March, and I'm really, really excited about our plans so far for that. So in March, I plan to read only mysteries. So then in May, last year I was inspired to read middle grade books during May because I had heard that Akos and Patty, who was formerly of I Smell Books, had hosted the previous year a challenge called Middle Grade May. And so Akos hosted that again this past year, and I did participate, although the first week of May I participated in the Ribsat readathon. But as it turned out, when you combined the Ribsat books with the middle grade books that I read, a lot of them were shorter, and so I managed to read over 30 books in the month of May. So at the end of the month, I looked back and I thought, wow, I read a book a day in the month of May. And so now I want to do that again. And so that's my plan for May, is to read a book a day in the month of May. And it more than likely will be a lot of middle grade books. Then, since I read a lot of short books in May last year, I decided to challenge myself to read only big books in June, and so I named that month Giant Book June. After I'd already decided I was going to do Giant Book June, then Sam from Thoughts on Tomes announced Tome Topple, which was a challenge to read books that were 500 pages or more, and that was a 2-week-long readathon right in the middle of June. So for June, I ended up reading 9 books, and I don't know when Tome Topple is going to be this year, but for me, for one of those months, June or July, I am going to do another Giant Book month where I will challenge myself to read only books that are 400 pages or more. So that will boost my Big Books Challenge, and it will be a lot of fun. So that is my plan for one of the summer months. Then I don't think I'll do any other themed months until December. I want to really make an effort to do this year what I wanted to do last year, which is read Christmas books. This past year I was stuck trying to finish my Pop Sugar Challenge and the Around the Year 52 books, and I really just wanted to read some Christmas romance, but I had said I was going to do those challenges, and I was determined to finish them. So that's kind of why I'm not committing to them this year, because I want the freedom to read some Christmas books at the end of the year without feeling pressured to have to finish some big annual challenges. So that is going to be my theme for December. Now, I'm also a member of 2 book clubs. One is the local book club at my local library, and we have 12 books on our list for that book club. If you're interested, I'll tell you real quick what we are going to be reading. For January, we are reading Cold Sassy Tree by Olive Ann Burns. For February, Big Trouble by Dave Barry. For March, we're reading Nora Webster by Colum Toibin. For April, we're reading Once and Future King by T.H. White. That's our classic for this year. And for May, we're reading Where the Heart Is by Billy Letts. I have read that one before. In fact, my mom knew Billy Letts. For June, our nonfiction book is The Founding Mothers by Cokie Roberts. For July, we're reading The Skinwalkers by Tony Hillerman. For August, we're reading Annie Freeman's Traveling Funeral by Chris Radish. For September, we're reading A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. I'm really excited about that one. In fact, these last ones are the ones I'm most excited about. For October, we're reading The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. And for November, we're reading Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon. But I actually already have a buddy read for this planned with Elizabeth Tyree. So I am super excited about that. We're going to read that in April. And then in December, we're reading Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. So those are the books that I'm going to be reading for our local book club. And then I'm also a member of the Book One Cozies Club, first in series Cozy Mystery Book Club that is hosted by Di from Dice's 19 Hearts. Each month, she picks 2 cozy mysteries that are first in their series, and my goal has been to read one of those 2 each month. Now, I don't always get it read within the month, but my goal will continue to be to read at least one of those books that are chosen if I haven't read it already. So those are my goals for 2017. If you have a goals video and I haven't commented to it, then I may not have seen it. So be sure and let me know in the comments below, and I will for sure go and watch it. I have really been loving watching everyone's goals videos and what they did last year and what they're doing this year and everything like that. So I really want to see your video if I haven't seen it already. And if I have seen it already, I might watch it again. Now, if you're curious to know what books I have on all these different lists that I mentioned, I will probably do some videos where I will detail and show you exactly what those books are that I have chosen. That will probably take me till the end of the month to get all those done. But if you are interested in that, then let me know down below. I will more than likely get that done over the next couple of weeks. So for now, that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.